170 hours. That's how much time we lose in traffic jams because of traffic jams every year in Klang Valley. To us, some of us, 170 episodes of Netflix that you can never get back. To some of us, that's nearly 5,000 ringgit in terms of salary. Good afternoon, I'm Jeshua, founder of Carching, and we're here to help car owners like you to unlock more value from every trip that you make. We're here to turn your KM into RM. Cars, everyday's most essential product in our lives. Helps to get from point A to point B, but there's a lot of downsides to it. Not only cars are a waste of time sometimes in traffic jams, but cars also cost a lot. About 50% of a fresh grad salary go to maintaining a car when you look at depreciation and interest also, right? So how do we convert this depreciating asset into one that can generate value, most important, seamlessly? For one, we pass through heavy traffic every day. Not only that, we pass through something that has a lot of value. Why not merge these two things together, turn your car into a media space and allow brands to advertise more effectively in the out-of-home space, at the same time, earn passive income. So we are like a B2B to C kind of company. We deal with brands and also users. Let's talk about the brand side of things first. On the brand side, the total AdX spent in out-of-home in Malaysia is at 1.3 billion, mainly concentrated in Klang Valley alone. Of course, our goal is not just Klang Valley, looking cross-regionally in Southeast Asia. The number quadruples to 6 billion ringgit, and mainly dominated by your typical players, billboards, trains, buses, taxis, and then Grab, right? So not really disrupted. On the supply side of things, looking at the user part, we're targeting the M40s and B40s of Southeast Asia, opening up to potential 215 million users, and we promise to pay every user up to 500 ringgit by using it. Talking about ringgit, how do we make money? Rule of thumb, about 800 ringgit per car for your first month, and for a renewal of 500 ringgit every month after. So in a 3 months contract, we'll be able to extract up to 40% GP alone. So, and of course, this is nothing new. You've seen the likes of Grab today and other players regionally. How are we different? For once, we stand by our user-centric designs, not your typical four-door advertisement. We follow what F1 does really well. Take your brand elements, accentuate their message, and make the design look tasteful, acceptable for people like you and I. Not only that, our users get to choose the brands that they want on our platform, effectively turning them like online KOL models offline on the roads. On top of that, we enhance the campaign further by doing on-ground events, copying what Red Bull Mini people did well and Fly FM Troopers do well today. Wrap your car, send it to locations that you want, send promoters there, and engage with the crowd. Suddenly, out of home has an element of lead gen and also engagement. But most importantly, our tech. Because of our app, we'll be able to tell where all these cars are every given second, generate a report to our clients, create a heat map, and how much impressions have been generated. Not only that, our backend is able to tell where these cars are without even referring to Google Maps anymore. Give us a longitude and latitude, we'll be able to tell you which road and what's the traffic condition at that point in time. So slightly above a year now, we've gotten about more than 3,000 downloads, about 600 cars today that's ready to drive across Malaysia, and we generated about 900,000 ringgit in terms of campaign value already. And these are some of the clients that we worked with, notably Nestle, OCBC, Zeus Coffee, Leaning Property Guru. So we've been some of the ecosystem platform providers as well, some of the competitions. You've probably seen us in some digital platforms, but most importantly, none of this is possible without the team. We are a highly mixed bag of highly driven people, mainly from consultancy and also finance, from engineering and tech, and also from the creative background. So Carching's aspiration is beyond just advertising advertising. So today we have new ways to sell our advertising products, such as through on-ground activations as well, and also a freemium model. But not only that, we are spending some time to think about how can we expand across different cities. Right now, we're going to Manila in Q1 next year, and with Jakarta and also Bangkok within our site. But we're also looking into things like how can we deep dive into the ad vertical. Tomorrow we'll be looking into things like how can we do a self-checkout generative AI wrap for clients. Just click what's your budget, put in your website, your Instagram, will scrape all the images for you, generated a wrap. If you don't like it, keep clicking refresh, and then check out after that. And doing real-time impressions. Right? Through our app, we'll be able to sense how many vehicles are around you at a given point in time as you drive down Jalan Kuching. Right? And at the same time, we're looking into things like in the life cycle of a journey of a driver, what else can we solve, such as parking, logistics, car maintenance? These are little value add to our users. But that's not the goal. The end goal, to date, this number is higher now. We've collected about 500,000 kilometers worth of driving data already. Imagine what we can do in years to come with thousands of cars on the road. So right now we're looking for seed funding, looking at R1 million to help us grow our current portfolio in Malaysia and also expand to Manila, building a stronger team, and also spend some budget into the R&D as well for future revenue. So that's it for us. We are carching. We like to reimagine what a car can do for you. We like to reimagine efficiencies. Thank you.
Got a question. Have you raised the money already? Are you funded already, since that you have quite a bit of a traction? But what about your fundraising part? Like, are you funded?
So today, I only have one angel investor from the very beginning. So preseed money. We have put in, me and the investor, about 700,000.
Okay. So, all right. And you plan to raise further rounds and then to scale this thing. And then so far you've earned 900K. And this 900K in what period of time? What's your growth rate in this?
Yeah, so the first 6 months from July to December is at 130,000 ringgit. So the remaining 770 is from this year to date.
So just 2 years?
Yeah, 1.5 lah.
1.5. I mean, like, okay. Okay, got it. All right.
How do you differentiate the users and the drivers? What does that mean?
So when we have downloads, it's just like a funnel lah. Downloads doesn't mean they'll create an account, and when they create an account, we have their basic details like their email address and also their phone number, first name, last name. And then to become a driver, you have to go through an onboarding process, a KYC. So you have to submit all your car grant, car road tax, pictures of your cars, IC, driving license. So from there on, you can be a driver. Yeah.
So is there an ideal car that you're looking for?
Preferably, we want a good mixed bag of cars that is everyday drivers, not e-hailing, because that's our target market, and cars below 10 years old. So that's what we usually look for, but we open up to anyone. Usually cars above 10 years old, we'll tell them there's a higher risk of paint damage. If let's say we're to put stickers a couple of times. And really that's about it. But so far our demographic that we managed to get 85% Proton Peru dual drivers. So our mix is still not great. We're trying to build that good mix. At the same time, about 70% is concentrated in Klang Valley alone. So we want to try to expand it.
But the ad revenue that they get, is that dependent on real estate of the car, brand of car? How does that work?
So far, it's a fixed fee for anyone and everyone. So we try not to discriminate. But we're starting to get queries for electronic vehicles. So we are paying EVs slightly higher because it's harder to get EV owners to join their own newer cars. So the only discrimination that we have today is EV vehicles.
Okay. And how do you onboard? How do you source out these drivers? What kind of marketing you do? It's organic. You buy this through ads.
Both. So we run ads digitally on social media to get leads and immediate download. So depend on the strategy for the month. And at the same time, we have referral programs as well. For every driver you bring on board, you get 10 ringgit. Future, we'll be building a sort of like a MLM kind of scheme where any one of your downline, for every kilometer they drive, you get to earn as well. Yeah.
Wow. But there's a few rap kind of businesses around, right? I won't mention the names. So from an advertiser perspective, do they just go across all and they don't care? So no matter who comes, they will just go ahead and advertise regardless?
So usually they will definitely compare us with Grab and one more player called Rodeo.
Yeah.
Right? Rodeo has been there for nearly 10 years, and Grab has the extent of the fleet of e-hailing. So what we usually tell our clients and why they usually go with us is a few things. Number one, the way we describe e-hailing is tomorrow when you go to work, when you drive to your office, look around you, you probably won't see a Grab car right beside you in the traffic jam, because that's not really their business model. They don't want to get stuck in traffic for hours. They go off-peak. So if you're spending money on Grab, you're getting the off-peak eyeball instead of the peak eyeball. So use us if you want to target working adults, right? So that's one. For the non-Grab players, they're not powered by tech. So most of them are literally on odometer, start point, end point of the journey, and that's about it. So for us, we are able to vomit out every second of the GPS ping of every car that is wrapped on our database. That's one. Number two, you get to add on mini events as well. So if you feel that rep alone, just impression numbers, high level marketing is not really enough, then let's go targeted. We can start planting cars in the middle of Sunway University College, right? And then I'll send promoters there and start asking the students to download your app. So this is something that no one is doing today, and add on to a client.
So who determines the price of the ads? You just pick a number from the sky, or what's the basis of the price?
So currently, if you look at the pricing range, is at 800 ringgit per month. This is the average price, or even slightly higher than the normal market price for a wrap shop down the street, or even like Rodeo, or the last time like My Bum, the likes of them. So slightly higher. Grab is double this number. Yeah. So Grab is way more premium. So I'm pricing it based on the current traditional players out there who's not powered by tech.
But you had a design focus in terms of very minimalist, not making your car look like a flashy billboard, but you don't mind having on site money, right? Are the advertisers okay with this approach?
Hit and miss lah. So some traditional advertisers usually want it big, loud, and a full door because I'm paying for it. Those more new in trend brands, they kind of understand that it's not all about just big and loud. Yeah. So hit and miss, I would say.
And the stats that they want back, what do you report? Just based on IoT, how long is on traffic, but impressions, no one's asking about at the moment, right? That's a nice to have that.
Oh, no.
Anyone?
It's a guarantee to have. I will give impression numbers to clients. So let me go straight quickly back to that impression. Yeah. Okay. So, no. Okay. Right. So first line item is definitely impressions, because no way you can run away from marketing without impressions. So impressions will give hours on the road, will give how many kilometers driven, where in that city they have been driving, by week, by month, types of road that they have covered as well, and a heat map. So this is what we usually give to our clients. And how do we get impression numbers? Three main methods, high level methods. First one is we scrape through every publicly available CCTV and do a 10-meter radius count on every car, and we count how many cars are around you. So this, we do it every 15 minutes across a month to get an average count. Number two, we plant a IoT device into a car, drive it around different parts of Klang Valley, 8 different parts, we segment it, and we'll be able to sense how many cars around you in the 10-meter radius. And last but not least, the driver himself will hold a clicker as well as a fail safe. So 3 data average into a one number for different roads, different time of day, different cities.
So there's different approaches with IoTs and all. The drivers are okay with this, or they get paid out differently for different levels of additional engagement?
So we don't do real-time impression counter yet. So we do it every 6 months. We run this driver specifically just to go around to refresh the data. Yeah. So the goal of moving forward for phase 2 is to be able to build a real-time counter into our phones. So from then on, we'll be able to sense how many cars around you.
Okay. Cool. Back off.
All right. So since you're earning already, so some post-revenue kind of questions. So you're raising venture capital, and you have plans to scale overseas. And so what are the type of like revenue growth rate, like benchmark targets that you're aiming for? Can you give us sort of like a breakdown, like with the money, with what you have earned and what you're raising for, and how you're gonna reach those kind of like targets?
Okay, so for like to date itself, we hit about 800,000 ringgit in Malaysia alone with a very minimal team, small team. We only have, most of the contracts is won by me actually. It's not even the team. So I'm a one-man show, single founder. So, and we have really secured a big contract from one of our main clients next year for the entire year, 12 months. But of course, nothing is signed yet. It's just verbal conversations, and we're going through the details now. And there are a lot of renewals that are upcoming for next year. So the beauty of advertising world is that once you secure a client directly and you face them like an agency, there's a recurring revenue for at least 5 years, I would say. Usually the contract for retainer is 5 years. So that's one way to keep our clients. Not only that, we are also working with distributors. These are not official distributors. So one thing that we learned this year, Property Guru, they want to resell our product. So they are now like an agency as well. Developers launch a new building. They go to Property Guru and say like, hey, I've got this new development. Can you help me advertise? And Prop Guru will say like, okay, I got emails, I got website, I got events to run for you, and I got cars as well. So they deploy cars for us. So far, we've launched 130 cars for Property Guru for different developers for them. So they're like our distributor. And we're looking for more people like this for 2024. So with this, so increasing the team size and also with 2020, with the new distribution channels, we'll hopefully be able to 3x to 4x our revenue in next year. Right. That's why you're looking at a 3 million number here. At the same time, we are also growing to Manila. Manila is not because I want to expand my backside itchy, nothing better to do. No, I haven't even stabilized KL yet. But more so is piggybacking our client. So another big client, they have expanded into Manila, and they're asking us to do the same there. Yeah. So that's really how I see the revenue growth towards. At the same time, we're looking at other ancillary income, such as parking, which will give us recurring income. Servicing will also give us recurring income. So those are little ancillaries that will add on to the revenue model.
And what's your competitive go-to-market strategy then against your competitors then to achieve these numbers?
So I think the ability to work with distribution channels, it's I would say it's our competitive edge right now, mainly because after learning what we did with Property Guru, we know what kind of mechanics work and doesn't work. So like for example, the Manila want to expand, we straight away go to the agencies that has a lot of media assets to sell. Straight away tell them like, this is our price, this is how we work, this is our timeline. Can you plug it in? And they say like, oh wow, great, can. Just plug it in. All carching has to do is just supply the cars and the tech, and that's about it. Yep. So with this new model, we will be able to move faster.
One more question, product-wise, because you said that you've developed your own proprietary mapping technology. So that would mean that you have, like your own access to all this data. Now, of course, a lot of analytics can be done. And what kind of like further downstream, like other features that you are able to monetize from this technology, you think? Or are you looking at?
So currently not only just mapping, right? We're also collecting driving behavior.
Traffic behavior.
And so far, our team do not have the capacity or time to even look into the kilometers that we collected. But some of the high level ideas that we have, it's obvious one everyone will think of is insurance premiums. It won't work in Malaysia, but it will probably work in Indonesia. Mainly because in Indonesia, car insurance is not 100% mandatory. Right. So this will incentivize people to take on car insurance, because better driving behavior, better premiums. But more interestingly, something that I would want to champion would be upcoming or deteriorating areas. One of the main barometer of whether properties in certain areas will do well or collapse is because of traffic. Whether people will go there, spend money, make it livable. So with car traffic, as you can see less and less traffic going to an area, or suddenly a lot of traffic going to a new area, we can predict upcoming property prices or collapse of prices. I think that would be more interesting.
Okay, got it. Vikesh, any more question?
I'm just wondering, like you're saying things in schools and universities, right? So from the demographics you see, are they primarily working adults, younger kids, given a demographic where bulk of the drivers are?
So currently the main bulk of the drivers are all above 25, all the way up to 40. So you're still looking at the young, slightly young, I wouldn't say young anymore, mainly because these are people that can own a car. Anyone below usually would give excuses like, oh, my parents don't allow. So you're looking at the 25 to 40. So far, we have not done any school activations, but what we did really well are targeted ethnicity activations. For example, Zeus Coffee wanted to target the Muslim community, obviously, because of the name and stuff. They want to try and build up the credibility. So what we did for them is every Friday, Friday prayers, we plant our car right inside the mosque, work with the AGK of the mosque. They love it, serious. And we tell them like we'll be giving out free coffees. For every app download or every app on your phone will give you a free coffee. So the car will be like a little open up booth camping kind of style with coffees all arranged in the booth. Everyone will be queuing up for a free coffee. So show us your app, okay, give you free coffee. Show us your app, free coffee. So
like
we're doing
your
it
old Milo
across
truck.
yes, like an old Milo truck, right? But for adults. So we do it 13 mosques across Semenanjung, Malaysia. Every Friday, we give out 2,500 cups of coffee every week. Yeah.
Is there a contract period that when I sign, because there's a cost to create the decals that you put on the car? So what's the minimum duration? If I opt to, I don't want to do it after 2 days, what's the escape for that?
Yeah, so usually we will tell a client, since there's a bump cost, like an upfront cost, right? So keep it at least 1 month. And then the best results you always see from third month onwards, because you've got economies of scale, right? You just stretch your spend. But really, if the client wants to do 1 week, like for example, Aeon Credit called me 3 weeks ago and say like, hey Jesh, I need really this for just 1 week, just help me do it. And I told them, but you will be silly like the cost. They say no, it's okay, so also can. At the end of the day, it's what the client's going to pay.
Full of drivers sitting there, and you just call them, hey, come back. I want you to use this one instead. Is that
Sorry,
how
say again?
Like when?
Oh no. So what?
Like
yeah, I think I heard that. Yeah. So what we do is we plant out a card, like a Tinder card. You know, when you go onto the app, you can swipe left or right, and the card will be there and say like, oh, I got Adidas now, I got Aeon Credit now, I got Nike now. So drivers will just swipe left and right whichever they want to join. So on our app, there will be 600. Actually 3,000 active users with 600 ready to join. We'll send out push notifications at WhatsApp. Hey, new campaign, check the card. New campaign, check the card. So they'll go there and pick which one they want.
So how long is the most active advertiser?
Most active advertiser would be Zeus. They've done it 3 times this year. Leading has done it 3. Actually, Leading as well. Leading has done it 3 times as well. Yeah. Property Guru has done it. Well, actually, Property Guru will be the longest. There will be four different developers. Yeah, 4. So Property Guru.
And
so they're
sorry, Paul. When ads completed its campaign, do they just rush to remove it? Like, the Adidas stripes look like racing stripes. Pretty cool. Do they just leave it on? Do you know?
Some of them leave it on, some of them don't. So it depends on how sensitive the clients are. Like Nestle, no, you cannot. So we are chasing everyone to come back to remove it.
So they don't want it on, they force you to remove it.
Yeah, because to them, campaign period is campaign period. They do not want it to be beyond. Yeah.
Right.
Got it. Thanks.
So the contract that you said for your repetitive renewals, are they contract based? Like, and what's the contract period like?
Unfortunately, I don't lock down the clients to tell them like, hey, you have to renew 3-4 times a year. So far, no retainer fees yet. But that's how agencies work usually. So maybe once I get the confidence of clients, I would do that. But on average, a client will do a 2 months campaign. Like if you sum up all our clients and divide by the number of clients, it's about 2 months.
Okay. I've actually got one last question, if you don't mind answering.
I
don't. Would you explain more? How does your freemium? Because you're obviously not just. Like how does that work for you on this sort of version? Yeah.
I'm so glad you asked this. This is something that I've been working on with a few companies. Early discussion. In fact, I just got off time.com this morning.
Nice.
So today when you want to use Gmail, you want to use Canva, it's free, right? Anything on the internet, you can use it for free first, and to a certain standard, you have to pay. But you can't go into the real world and say like, hey, I drink a cup of coffee halfway free lah. Then the other half of me, I'll start paying. But through us, you can. So what if tomorrow, for every time user, like for time, I can go and look for Unify, Maxis, Cellcom DG user, tell them like, hey, why not you switch over to time? And it's free. You don't have to pay a single cent for as long as you put time branding on your vehicle for 12 months. And that will pay off your contract for you. Not any time. You can go up to Allianz or even AXA, right? Hey, if you want to serve the B40 market, I can look for you a kampong that has no insurance coverage at all. I'll look for them, ask them to put Allianz on their car, then they have general insurance, life insurance, or personal accident insurance covered for as long as they are on the campaign period. So that's how we're proposing a freemium model. So far, not really happening in this world. Spoke to Petronas about it as well. For Petronas Dagang, they're quite keen to explore this for their Mesra shop. For if you put Petronas branding on your car, you get maybe a free coffee every time you go through the highway. So this is something that we're working with brands. Ongoing, very early stage. Too many parties. Usually that's a comment. Oh, I got legal, I got product, I got marketing, I got sales. So yeah, it's the coordination of things. Yeah. But that's how the freemium market is supposed to work. The freemium model is supposed to work.
Okay, got it. I mean, I've got tons of questions to follow up with that, but like since we lack for time, so I would not.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Jeshua, for that.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.